God has helped to shape those relationships and to
Yeah.
help to shape my thinking in a way that looks like me actually having conversations with him about God, who needs to stay and who doesn't need to stay.
Yeah.
Help me, give me what I need so that if this is the person that you are moving out of my life, that I'm not trying to keep them around, I'm not trying to
Yeah.
pull them back.
Welcome back to Trusting Her Journey. I'm Felicia.
And I'm Crystalline.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How do I sound? Me.
Yeah, girl, you sound much better than last time. You know that voice was
Mm.
cracking a little bit. It was giving.
It was.
But you know what? I can't laugh because it was back to back. It was me, then it was you. So we're back and we're better and we're excited to be recording today. How was your weekend?
It was good. The weather has been nice.
Mm,
My husband and I did a little getaway and celebrated Valentine's Day together
okay.
for Valentine's Day, and then we came back and then we celebrated with our Valentine, our little one. Well, she's not little, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a good time. How was your
Good.
weekend?
It was good. This year we decided to do something a little bit more simple. Like we both had Friday off, so we got brunch without the kids. We took my daughter out to get her nails and toes done. Girl, she was loving that. We all made it like a little spa thing and we just chilled. It was what we needed because we have been on the go and things are starting to ramp up with like celebrations and activities and things. So it was good. It felt refreshing for me for sure.
Yeah, to kind of switch it up a little bit.
Yes, and not do all of the hustle and bustle with restaurants and
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't in the mood for that this year, which I'm surprised because I normally like to, being that I work from home, I don't get dressed up enough. So I like to go out and do things, but I was not in the mood for it. So that
Yeah.
worked. It worked for
Well, you
us.
might be changing a little bit too. You know,
Yeah, I was thinking
celebrating.
about that Sunday, like, oh, this is different. This is out
Mhm.
of the ordinary for me because he's like, oh, you didn't even say anything that you wanted for Valentine's Day. I was like, I don't know what I want. I think I'm blessed to have all the things I want and need. So I don't really want to be grabbing that stuff, but I put that thing on credit just in case I need to circle the block and figure out. I said, listen, I'm coming back.
Right, right. I know. I have a friend and her family. They keep like a running Amazon wish list, so everybody has their
Mm,
own. So at any point, not just a holiday, but it does come in handy for the holidays. At any point, I guess if someone wants to go on and get a gift, then they can just
yeah.
go to that.
Yeah.
Because the Amazon wish list and carts just be full of stuff there.
Girl, my cart is ridiculous.
It is $1 billion total.
And you want to know what the funny part about it is? It's a lot of items that are like small in price, but I'm like, I don't want to spend my money on that. I don't want to buy that. I want someone else to buy that. And then when I send them to him, he's like, this is $10. Yeah, I know. I want to keep my 10 spend
It's been your
your
Oh
10.
my goodness, that's so funny.
Okay, so I'm glad that you had a great weekend. You deserve that.
My husband is one of my best friends.
Mm,
When we spend time together, we've been together since I was 23 years old.
oh wow.
Yeah. So that's like I almost have my life.
Yeah, yeah. And what's interesting is I love that you brought up the fact that he is your best friend because the conversation that we're having today is around friendships and how friendships can change. Like you've mentioned, that's over half of your life of like knowing this person and being in a relationship with them, having a friendship with them, and it had me thinking about like, wow, even when we talked about friendships and we talk about our friendships and just
Right.
relationships that we're in all the time, to hear you say that over half of your life that, you all have had this connection, I
Mhm.
wonder how many people kind of have some feelings around their friendships and things shifting. Because I know for me, things don't look or feel the same way that they did 10 years ago.
Mhm.
And as much as we have conversations regarding like relationships in terms of romantic relationships changing, I don't think we talk enough about friendships and how our friendship dynamics can change. And a lot of us don't know how to feel or what to do with that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Even when I think about getting married at, to me, what I would say now was such a young age. I have some of the same friends that I did then, but I don't have all of the same friends that I did then. And some of the friendships ended, and I know why. And
Mm-hmm.
some of the friendships ended, and I can kind of guess why, and
Yeah.
I have no idea. Some of them we just kind of naturally grew apart. Um, I just know when you're younger, friendships seem more easy to
Yes.
manage and navigate, right? Because you got all this time, you don't have a lot of
Yeah.
responsibility. They can have as much access to you as you'd like them to have. And
Mm-hmm.
um, once you get older and you start your career, you become a parent, or you move, or you get married, I think things just have to change in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
But ideally, if there could be a conversation about it, that would be nice. But most of the time, we know that's just not how it happens.
No.
It just don't happen like that.
Yeah. And even hearing you mention like things feel different, I don't think that it's a bad thing that things are different or relationship dynamics have changed. I think more than anything is what you mentioned around not having the conversations about capacity. Because when I hear you talk about friendships as a child versus an adult, with careers, with families, with different responsibilities, your capacity is very different. I mean, I remember as a child, I wasn't really worried about anything other than going to the basketball game, hanging with my friends. We're out and about. Maybe we had a little bit more responsibilities when we got to high school and we're in sports and you have a job, but the capacity and the energy has changed from teenage girl to now. I even think about that in college years. My capacity is very different. My responsibilities are different, but more than anything, I think my emotional bandwidth is very different.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Well, and we obviously we weren't using terms like capacity, even when we think about college.
No.
And even when I think about my studies in college and studying in psychology courses and social work and things like that's just not the language we were
Mm-hmm.
using. And what is also true is no one was really talking to us about how to be a friend
Yeah.
while doing life, right? So yeah, my mom talked to us, about be honest, be kind, be
Mm-hmm.
generous, that kind of friendship stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Also like humanity stuff too, just be good,
Yeah.
good person.
Yeah.
But so she did talk to us about, treating others the way you want to be treated. So a lot of the things that we were taught were biblically based as well.
Mm-hmm.
But just like knowing that or noticing when it was just too much, when if you had a friend that was always involved in drama, for example, sometimes depending on the age and stage of your life, girl, I'm down for whatever.
Right.
I with my girls. It's just if something happened, we going through this together. That's just
Yeah.
not putting too much people business in the street. But
Right.
so we're gonna go through this together. Now, fast forward. I mean, I'll jokingly say, like, I do have a couple of friends who they don't mind. They'll serve a night or two for me if I need them to, because they know I'm
Mm-hmm.
not in a position where I can do that. And I also have the friends who are like, calm down, we're gonna pray and we're gonna let God handle it. So
Yeah.
depending on where I am, I know who I need to call
Yeah.
depending on where I am. But when I think about even who I used to be in college and the women who are my friends even still now, today, all of us have changed and grown and
Mhm.
evolved because of life. And even the amount of time that we spend together, it's just not the same.
Mhm.
Do I still value those relationships? I think I do even more now
Yeah.
because the time we spend together is that much more precious.
Yeah.
And the memories, some that I can share and some that I'm never sharing, we taking it, we taking
Yeah.
it with us to our grave.
Yeah.
But those memories that help to kind of shape us as women and help to kind of build or strengthen the foundation of our friendship, the fact that we don't see each other all the time or talk all the time doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not, you can tell me what you think about this because I know sometimes for some people, depending on where they are in their life, they need regular, constant contact with certain friends. And
Mhm.
then if it's not regular or constant contact, then there's a break in the friendship. They start to
Mhm.
feel a type of way. So do you think that is about the friendship? Do you think that's about the age or stage the person is at? What do you think? What do you think? Why do you think that happens when people their friendships break or kind of fizzle out? And it's because one person feels like there's not enough contact.
You know, that's such a loaded question, honestly, because from the therapeutic side, I'm often like, okay, let's talk about that attachment style. Like
Mhm.
what is happening there to where you may feel like there is this constant need of communication without considering that life is happening for other people. And it has nothing to do with you that there's a lack of communication. I'm not saying that that's always the case, but from what we know, I'm the type of person, if you did not tell me that you have a problem with me, then I don't think you have a problem with me. So I'm going to ride it out to it has nothing to do with me that there's a break in communication. The other side is I'm the type of person that I'm okay if I don't talk to you every single day. I'm thinking about some of my closest relationships. I don't talk to them every day, but the moment that we do talk, we're on the phone for hours, or we have the relationship where we may not talk all the time, but we're sending memes, we're sending TikToks. Like there is still some form of communication to show that I'm thinking about you. I love you. I care for you. If you need me, holler. Like, I think that's just what was established with us. So that could go between, like, what is the relationship that you have with that person?
Mhm.
Have you communicated that you are the type of person that you need constant communication, or you need to be reassured that everything is okay in the relationship? Or can you pick up where you left off? Like, can you go 6 months without talking and then y'all pick up and say, okay, we know this is going to be a 2 hour conversation. We got so much to talk about. It's kind of like a running bullet list. I really do think it depends on the person and what they're looking for, but that goes back to different people serve different roles in your life.
Right. Have you actually had that conversation with your friends? Like, have you and your friends ever said any version of like, hey, this is what I need, or I'm okay, we don't talk all the time, or I value this friendship because I know we could travel together, or you're the godparent of my kids, and
Yeah.
or this is what I need in the friendship, or this is girl, you're doing too much, I don't need that. Have y'all
Yeah.
had those conversations?
I've had that with a few friends, not all,
Yeah. Yeah.
with a
And I
few.
don't know that enough people do that. I'm just
Yeah.
wondering how much of the breaks we hear about or know about in friendships or is because the things that there's too many things that are being left unsaid. You
Yeah.
have these expectations and you're not sharing.
Yeah, agreed. And I also think it goes back to the emotional capacity and your emotional intelligence to have those conversations.
So the
I don't
language.
know if everyone is ready for that type of conversation because, as we've discussed before, sometimes you don't even know what you need or what you're looking for.
Right.
You're basing it off of what everyone else is doing. So I think that that's also where it's at. Some friends I can talk to and be like, girl, I need you. I need to have a conversation with you. We haven't talked in a long time and it made me feel like this. And then there are other relationships where it's just like, I guess there's this understanding where we don't need to communicate what happened, or we're not ready, or we don't have the language to communicate what we're feeling right now. So we're trying to fill it out.
Right. So that language piece, when we use expressions or words like emotional intelligence, I think a lot of people misinterpret that to mean something along the lines of you are wise enough or smart enough to know what you feel and to be able to put words to it. Um, and that's part of that is true, but the other piece of it, it requires a little bit of being able to be empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
um, Being a yes, you want to be able to articulate what you feel and what you think, and to be able to say it in a way that is not going to cause damage or cause harm
Yeah.
to the person that you are communicating to. But that also requires you to like care about the person.
Mm-hmm.
It requires you to be concerned or even consider where you want the relationship to go. If you want the relationship to grow, a lot of different factors come into place,
Yes.
and maturity in that way is something that has to be. It can be taught, but it takes time to develop. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And if you don't nurture those skills within
Yeah.
first, then you aren't going to be able to say, girl, I ain't talked to you in how many months? And now you calling me
Yes.
something.
Yes. And it's knowing, I think it's also the space of you have to know who you're having that conversation with too. Like for me and you, I think that we have this banter where we can let each other know, like, girl, you're doing too much. Like you
All
said it to
right.
me, I've said it to you. Like, stop working, stop.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the nature of our friendship. And I think it has evolved over time, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not something everyone will experience. Every
No,
relationship, you can't say, chill out. You can't
because they're going
have
to be
that type
upset.
of banter. You have to learn the person that you are building this connection with. And I think that that also gives you an idea of how can I have these conversations? What
Yeah.
would these conversations look like? Have I noticed patterns when this person may be growing or shifting? Can I pay attention to those things to say, like, how can I support you? Maybe she does
Mm-hmm.
need some time because she's working on something or she's going
Yeah.
through something. But it takes, like you said, nurturing those relationships and friendships. And I'm going to be real. I think some of us come out the gate wanting to have Instagram worthy friendships and this big community without doing the work to build
Mm-hmm.
those communities and those relationships.
I agree with you 100%. Even when you mentioned like our banter, and I was thinking, I'm like, yeah, we can talk to each other the way we do because we also kind of ask the necessary questions. And so it may not sound like, were you okay when I said blah, blah, blah? It
Mm-hmm.
may not
Mm-hmm.
sound like that, but there is always a checking in kind of to make
Yes.
sure that what we said landed the way we needed it to land.
Right.
There was no offense and no harm. So we're always doing that kind of work. Y'all, friendships in adulthood is exhausting.
It is.
Not necessarily in a bad way. I guess for some it could be in a bad way. And
Yeah.
that may be a clue to you about, a lot of different things, but it is work.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want the friendship to grow stronger and to last. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's really what I want our listeners to consider too, as you're considering your relationships in at the stage you are in your life. What relationships do you want to last? What
Mm,
relationships do you want to nurture and grow? Um, yeah, because as we grow, naturally, like we mentioned, your relationships are going to change. But I think for well, I know for me, my faith has changed even how I view or approach friendships
mm,
because I just need God to align everything.
mhm.
I just don't need people in my life that are going to be roadblocks, that are going to be a hindrance, that are going to, I got to be so guarded around, that are not going to help to push me closer to becoming the woman I know God wants me to be. I'm not saying every single friend has to pray for me in the same way that I pray for them, but I need you to have some pleasant thoughts for me if you know
Yeah,
I'm going, if you know I'm going through something, or if you think I might be going through something. If
yeah,
God puts me on your heart, send one up for me. You don't have to call me or text me, but I need to know that you have me in mind, even if we aren't talking all the time. I need to know that I'm safe. I may not have to share everything with you, but if you're my friend who's, the friend that is really good in business, and
mhm.
we don't talk about motherhood or, marriage, but business is our thing, right? Because I am a compartmentalizer when it comes to friendships.
Yeah,
People are not, but that's a me thing.
yeah,
So if that's know your role in my life,
mhm,
and if you're my friend, we have talked about that.
mhm,
If you're my friend who I have some friends who've been moms longer than me, and they
mhm.
know part of their role in my life is to help to make sure my baby not on somebody's couch forever because I don't.
Yeah.
So they reel me in when I'm doing too much.
Yeah,
And that those kind of things are important. But even with that, God has helped to shape those relationships and to
yeah,
help to shape my thinking in a way that looks like me actually having conversations with him about God, who needs to stay and who doesn't need to stay.
yeah,
Help me, give me what I need so that if this is the person that you are moving out of my life, that I'm not trying to keep them around, I'm not trying to
yeah,
pull them back in. And so my prayer life looks like me praying for me, of course, and the people, the women who are in my life. And the women who are in my life, I have some friends who I ain't gonna say no names. I have literally never seen them in real life.
yeah,
I haven't. And they are some of my best friends.
yeah,
And we haven't seen each other in real life for so many different reasons. However, we are really, really intentional about nurturing our friendships,
mhm,
just not gonna let too much time pass
yeah,
out making sure we have connected in some way. And that's important to me
mhm,
for where I am in my life right now. Now,
yeah,
10 years ago, probably wouldn't have cared. Well, I mean, I'd say 20 years ago. I
yeah,
I wouldn't, I didn't, I cared about my friendships, but it just didn't look the same. And I
mhm,
know the women that I have friendships, relationships with now, a lot of them are my chosen sisters. We don't have the same birth parents, but they
mhm,
are the people that I want to do life with.
yeah,
And that type of alignment matters to me more than like, oh, we've been friends since middle school, so that's why we still friends.
yeah. I think that that part is what I have been learning over the past few years is number one, I love that you spoke on the piece around not everyone is meant to hold every part of you. For me, more specifically, I have always talked to my clients about there are some friends that will not get VIP access to you, and that's fine. They don't they don't have to be a part of VIP. They don't have to know everything about you. You get to decide what you want to share with people the same way they get to decide what they want to share with you.
Yeah.
And
Does that mean y'all not
that's
real friends?
it has absolutely nothing to do with the testing of our friendship. It's just certain things I hold near and dear to me. And it's not to say that you can't move up or you can't move down the access ladder. It's just I'm learning that I don't have to share every part of me to be in a healthy relationship with people. I'm also learning that longevity no longer is the requirement that I'm holding on to for someone to be a friend. Now, just like you said, if you would have asked me that 10 or 15 years ago, I probably would have said, yes, they're going to be my friend for life because of history or whatever. But again, it goes back to I'm learning that some people aren't able to be in a relationship with this version of me, and I'm not able to be in a relationship with that version of them. And that's okay. It's not to
Right.
say that their version is bad or my version is bad. It's just to say that our versions don't align with each other in this season of life. I have
Yeah.
no ill will towards them. Even like you mentioned, I'm still going to pray for you. I'm going to think about you. I'll care about you and your well being. I just don't have to invest the same energy and time in that relationship in the way that I did before. And for me, I'm learning more than anything that that's showing growth and maturity on my part, because before I would just keep people around simply because of the years invested. And now I'm just like, if it doesn't align, it's not that we have to have some drama. We need a big
Right.
fallout. We need a curse out. We need a social media war. None of that. It's just, I respect you. I respect the time that we shared, the memories that we had together. And it's okay if we departure because maybe they're not meant to go in the next season of life with you.
That's we know that now. Wisdom, life experience has taught us that. And yeah, at 23, no, I didn't think I did not think that way.
Mm.
If a friendship ended, it was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was devastating, girl. It was like a
In high school was
heartbreak.
worse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very devastating. How do I move on? Where do I go from here? I know there's a few friendships where I was pulling the person back, the people back in my
Mhm.
life because I saw them in the store or I saw a post on social. Let me just reach
Mhm.
out. Let me just,
Mhm.
and regretted it every single time. Like, why did I do that? Why did
Yeah.
I just leave well enough alone? Let the
Yeah.
relation, especially when God would give me the grace that I do not deserve and let the friendship kind of fizzle out and there was no drama or anything. We just kind of
Mhm.
we just kind of drifted apart. Those it's like why couldn't I just accept that?
No, we got to go back and get more just to say we have a storyline for the ending of the relationship.
Yeah, I now know that in God's divine wisdom, He knew like you, girl, you wasn't gonna be able to handle it if it happened any other way. You were not going to be able to handle it if it happened in a different way. There's scripture, Proverbs 13 and 20. Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffer harms. And I think that I know that scripture is important to me for a lot of different reasons because you can look at it a lot of different ways. But when I think about that, and I think about the friendships that kind of fizzled out, and I was
Mhm.
pulling them back. The times I regretted it is because when I realized who that person was and how they was living, it didn't match how I lived.
Mm.
I did not like a lot of the things they were doing. Sometimes I didn't
Mhm.
even like the way they spoke.
Mhm.
Or the stories they had to share anymore. Like even the memories we shared, it's like, dang, that was a memory. That was why did I do that? Why how did I allow myself to even let things go in that
Yeah.
direction? That's not even the kind of woman I want to be, or I'm not that version of me
Mhm.
anymore. And so I need wise companions. I
Mhm.
cannot be friends with foolish people. I need to walk with women who are going to, hey, say, no, hey, look, this is not God don't like this. He is not going to be
Right.
with you living
Right.
this way. And maybe they don't frame it that way with that exact
Right.
language, but I get it.
Yeah.
And they can come, help me to just be a greater version of myself. That is important. Um, yeah, that to me, that's what's most important now that I have women in my life who are wise,
Yeah.
fear God, and who are not going to, they're not tearing other women down.
Yeah.
They're helping me to see that I can be all the things and more that they can see. Because and you can tell me if this is true for you. Have
Hmm.
you had friends where you can see in them things that they don't see in themselves and
Absolutely.
want to stay connected to them because you're looking forward to when they can see they can see the
Absolutely.
same thing that you see. And so even in those kind of friendships, I have to pray and ask God to make sure I'm not taking his job,
Hmm.
that I'm not taking his job,
Yeah.
not that that's not on me. The weight of them, fulfilling their life's
Yeah.
purpose, their life's work, don't fall on me.
Right.
But God, if I'm the person that's supposed to be in their life to help, to encourage them and support them, help me to know my role, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Help
Yes.
me to know my role and put women in my life who are going to serve a purpose that you want them to serve.
Yes. Even hearing you say that, one thing that I have been normalizing more and more with myself and making sure that I normalize this when I'm talking to other women, is the idea that your friends are allowed to have more than you as a friend. You
Yes.
cannot be everything to that friend. Like, your friend deserves to have people who can show up for them when you can't. Because guess what? You won't always be able to show up for your friend. You
Exactly.
won't always be able to resonate with whatever your friend is going through. And you want to make sure that the village or community that they build, they have the right people there.
Yes.
And you should not take offense to it and say, well, why is she calling her? Why didn't she call me? Well, sis, it's okay. Maybe that's something that that
Okay.
person is bringing, that's a gift and a purpose in your friend's life.
Yes.
It
Yes.
doesn't have to be you're their end all be all. Like, that's unfair to you because you're putting extra pressure on yourself to show up when you don't, again, have the capacity or energy to do that. And then you're not allowing other people to show up for this person when they need it.
Right. The expressions relational abundance.
Mm-hmm.
So um it is a blessing when your friends have other friends who love them well.
Yes.
Because that means that they have a full and rich life. They're supported, they're cared for, there's no competition, there's no insecurity, just gratitude. I love that, especially for my friends who don't live near me.
Mm-hmm.
I love being able to see photos of them doing life with the other people, the other women in their life, and them being celebrated and poured into and loved on, and all the things by the other women. First of all, because sometimes I literally can't be there because geographically I can't,
Mm-hmm.
or my life, I don't have the capacity to be
Yeah.
there, or I don't have the wisdom about that particular thing, or just time. I just can't. And you don't. None of us want to do life alone. So why would you
Right.
be the only? I mean, we
Friend.
can be besties. Yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
But they can have more than one bestie.
Yes. I agree. You can have more than one, okay? We don't have to pick like in a grade school. Hey, you only get one.
No,
You can
no.
have multiple.
Mhm.
That, I think that leads us to a space of when we do our rest stop, we kind of give you some fuel for the week ahead. And it's something that even as we were preparing for this episode, I found myself kind of processing my own experiences around what type of friend am I? So the question that we're kind of leaving, not kind of, the question that we are leaving you all with is, what kind of friend are you? Like, how are you showing up in these relationships and friendships that you currently have? Because if we can be honest, some of us are expecting things from people that we're not even willing to give.
I'm gonna just look at them.
So this is your opportunity to sit
Yeah,
down with yourself and say, like, what type of friend am I? How am I showing up in relationships?
yeah. It's okay. We want to normalize that uh, friendships, especially adult friendships, and I think we mostly, or you more commonly hear this in romantic relationships, but adult friendships are rarely 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're going to carry more.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're going to call more. Sometimes you are going to be doing more in the friendship, pulling a little bit more of the weight. That's just natural. And if we expect that there's going to be things are going to be perfectly reciprocal, there's going to be all of this equality at every single moment of the relationship, that it's
Yeah.
just not realistic. It's not sustainable for friendships.
Yes.
It builds resentment. That leaves no room for grace. That leaves
Mm-hmm.
no room for forgiveness. That leaves
Mm-hmm.
no room for just strengthening the foundation of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes things, life cause people to move in different directions, but sometimes it could just be a time for you to learn or come to know that this might be a season where I just got to hold Felicia down a little bit more
Yes.
because of whatever's happening. And
Yes.
and I know because we've poured into our friendship, I know she do the same for me.
Exactly.
I know, and that's what I want you all to think about too, as you're praying about your relationships and asking God who to bring, who's let's stay, and who should go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if a shoe was on the other foot, would this person do maybe not the exact same thing, but would they show up for me?
Show up. Yeah.
They don't have to look the same way
Yes.
how I show up for them, but will they show up for me if they could?
Yes.
And the fact that they're not showing up for me, is that because of how they feel about me, or is it because of something they're going through? They don't have the capacity, or whatever, something that I know is not a heart matter. Their
Mm-hmm.
heart has not changed for me, towards me, but just life has changed and they can't be who I might want them to be at this moment. That's just something to think about. And it's hard to be able to answer some of those questions if you don't know the kind of friend you are, and if you do not know the kind of friendship you desire to have, and the kind
Yes.
of friendships God desires you to have. So what we're saying is, don't just be creating this long list of expectations to people for people, and you don't even know how you show up in friendships.
Yeah.
You want people to do for you that what you won't do for yourself.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
we hope that you all enjoyed today's conversation. This is one that we truly believe can be multiple parts. So the conversation does not end here. This is just a starting point for you to reflect on your own relationships, how you show up in friendships, and that even leads you to how do you trust your journey with the friends that you have in
Mm-hmm.
this season of life? Because maybe your friends aren't the friends you have currently, maybe they can't go with you in the next season, and that's okay. Again, we're not saying just start eliminating people before you listen. Don't go cutting everybody off. Like, really sit down and think about the questions that we all provided you for the rest stop. We, of course, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have not, please make sure that you subscribe on YouTube. Be sure to share it with some people in your life. If you're not on our email list, please make sure that you join the email list in our community. We send out emails twice a week with some gems that we feel can be helpful to you, to help you as you go throughout your journey. Again, we thank you and we appreciate you, and we will see you next time.
All right,
Bye.
y'all. Peace.